Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I welcome you to today's webinar, which will be about unlocking the power of openBIM, organized by UAE Building Smart chapter. I am Mohammed Hamoud from the chapter management, and our speaker today is Mr. Nadim Abbas. He's an experienced BIM integration lead who has worked in AAC sector for more than 14 years. He has managed a wide range of projects in different countries, such as High Speed 2 in UK, Al Maktoum International Airport and Etihad Rail in UAE, and Riyadh Metro in Saudi Arabia, and many more. Nadim holds Master in BIM and Integrated Digital Delivery and a postgraduate certificate in Operational and Technical BIM Management. And in addition to his work, Nadim is dedicated to providing free training for the BIM processes in line with the ISO 19650 series. So please, if you have any question during the webinar, you can write it down in the chat box, and Mr. Nadim will try to answer them after or during the webinar. So, Mr. Nadim, are you ready?
Yeah, thank you, Mohammed. Thank you
Okay,
very
you
much
can
for the
proceed.
brief. Yeah. Okay, so I welcome everyone, and it's a wonderful time, and I hope we will share a lot of the knowledge about the openBIM chapter. Okay, so we will start from the introduction that's already done by Muhammad, but I would like to talk about myself in a couple of minutes. My name is Nadim Abbas. I'm BIM integration lead for Sistra, working on HS2 project. Having 14 years of experience, I added MSc in Building Information Management and Integrated Digital Delivery from Middlesex University, UK. Apart from that, I do have some PG certificate and diplomas in operational and technical BIM management and in information management practitioner from openBIM. And I'm also providing the free trainings, whatever I learned during my master's and my professional career. I prefer to share it with the industry and the newbies and the guys that want to learn more about BIM. So I thought it's good to share the knowledge. Okay, so today we are going to talk about the openBIM. Here is the agenda. We will start from the introduction to BIM. Then I will show you how the openBIM trends are changing. It's like since 5 to 8 years, there are a lot of the trends that came into the picture, and the research papers are there. And then we will be talking about the buildingSMART standards, buildingSMART candidate and related standards, openBIM software, platform and tools, openBIM case studies, and then in the last we will have the question and answer. So from very much first introduction, the construction industry as one of the traditional industry in the world boost economic development and accelerate the realization of urbanization. However, the development of the more complicated construction project has also created a series of calibration issues. I think the BIM coordinators can more relate, the BIM managers and coordinator can more relate with these calibration issues. So these calibration issues among the different stakeholders and software platform especially, which has placed the higher requirement on calibration over the whole life cycle, including design, construction, operation, and maintenance. In most cases, data in the construction field is fragmented, and this is also proved by several studies as well. I can share the study links in the last. The data is fragmented and distributed in different sources, which is not convenient for information collection and representation. However, how to best solve this information collaboration issue is closely related to the success of the project. BIM Softwares is widely used in design, construction, operation, and maintenance stage, providing the great convenience for the construction industry. However, the data collection among the different software lead to a series of problems. That is actually I also went through on this, and such as such one of them is the interoperability issue. As a universal approach for calibration, uh, as a universal approach for collaborative design, construction, and operation of the asset based on the openBIM standards and workflows, openBIM provide the solution for these problems by reducing collaborative errors, improving the interoperability between the softwares, and ensuring the accuracy of multiple party collaboration, thus improving the efficiency of the whole project. Okay, now we are coming to the next. Here we go. So now let's see some Google Trends. What exactly this means is basically these are the Google results in specific areas where the people search for some certain terms. Let's see in past 5 years, the search of openBIM has been increased. You can see here the graph that is showing that where 100 is the most popular that a term can be, and 50 is the half as popular, and 0 is that there is no such significant data available with Google. So people search for openBIM in last 5 years. Here you can see the trends, and people search for the IFC. Moreover, the COBI search is there, and it is sometimes increasing and sometimes it is constant. Land XML is there. So you can see that the search has been increased in last 5 years. In addition to that one, I went through some of the research paper websites, and I found that in 2000 there was only 2001 to 2, 3, and 4. You can see only one research paper was published about openBIM, but in recent years it reached up to 163 till 2018, and of course there is an increment till 2023. So people are more interested about the openBIM now. Okay, now let's jump to the next slide. openBIM standards. We will be talking about the openBIM standards. So building smart, here the building smart comes in. Building smart is an open, neutral, and international not-for-profit organization which is committed to creating and adopting the open international standards and solution for infrastructure and building to drive the digital transformation of the built asset industry. Based on the analysis of openBIM standard from the official website of Building Smart, openBIM standards are divided into the three main categories that are here. You can see the Building Smart standards, Building Smart candidate standard, and Building Smart related other standards. Building Smart standards are the final standards that have been voted by the standard committee. Building Smart candidate standards are activities that are waiting for acquiring international consensus before being submitted to the standard committee for the final vote. Building Smart related other standards are formed to supplement the openBIM standard. Okay, then here we go. Building Smart standard. Let's talk about Building Smart standard now. So Building Smart standard as the most popular part of openBIM standards mainly include 5 basic standards. The name of the function these 5 basic standards are here. Number 1 is IFC. The meaning of IFC or full form is Industry Foundation Class, and it transports the information or data. Second is IDM. IDM stands for Information Delivery Manual that describes the process. MVD, Model View Definition, translates the process into the technical requirement. BCF stands for BIM Collaboration Format that changes the coordination. BSDD is Building Smart Data Dictionary, defines the BIM objects and their attributes. Okay, now we are jumping to the next, and I'll be explaining more about it, what exactly these are. Okay, so now IFC. So I'm sure that many of you listen this term. So IFC is a data standard. IFC is a common data schema for describing the BIM model data, which aims to establish a standard method of data representation and storage, so that all kind of the softwares can import and export building data in this format, thus promoting the data sharing among the different specialties and different softwares throughout the whole life cycle. IFC standards can be used to unify the format of information generated by different type of softwares to realize the free conversation of BIM information. Now, the second is IDM. IDM is process standard. IDM is a method for capturing and specifying the whole process and information flow during the building life cycle, which aims to ensure relevant data is exchanged in a way that can be intercepted by the recipient software. The construction and the maintenance of the building involve may different participants, so knowing what information needs to be communicated among them, and when it is communicated is more important. IDM can facilitate this information communication process by making full use of business process modeling notation, that is called BPMN, and templates for exchange requirement. Third was MVD, that is the process translation. The model view definition defined a subset of IFC schema that needs to meet one or more exchange requirement in AEC industry. Uh, Together with this subset of the IFC schema, a set of the implementation, instruction, and validation rule are issued, and the method of publishing concept and related truth is MVD XML. The MVD XML is an encoding format through which MVD can be encoded and allowable values in specific attributes of the specific data type can be defined. In practice, software application can use MVD XML statically to support the specific model view or use it dynamically to support any model view. Now we will go to the BCF, that is the BIM collaboration format, and it is for change coordination. The BIM collaboration format BCF is a simplified and open standard XML format that is used to encode the information, which enables the workflow communication between the different BIM software tools. Now, uh, the, the development of BCS mainly include two parts. One is XML file format and the second is the RESTful web services, in which the open file XML format called BCF XML can support the workflow communication in BIM process. Beside the RESTful web services called the BCF API can enable the software application to seamlessly exchange BCF data in BIM workflow. The last one was BSDD, standard library. May I ask you to please mute your microphones? Thank you. So, building smart data dictionary, that stands for BSDD, standard library. Sorry, can someone mute, please? So, BSDD as a reference library based on the IFD. Hello?
Sorry, Nadeem, we cannot hear you. Okay, now we can.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I think someone was unmuted, so yeah.
Take back controls.
Okay, so we was on BSDD, that is Building Smart Data Dictionary. BSDD as a reference library based on the IFD standard ISO 12006 Part 3 is one of the set of Building Smart standard that enables the collaborative work. To understand the BSD standard better, it is necessary to understand the concept of IFD standard. IFD is a terminology library oriented to the ontology oriented standard, which ensures the accuracy of the BIM information exchange and sharing by establishing the mapping relationship between the IFC and information representations of different languages and vocabularies, as well as specifying the related concept semantic of object. Based on the IFD standard, the BSDD provides a shared system for identifying and validating the names of objects and their attributes used in building information models, which help to better understand the naming of general terms, hereby the improving the information interoperability during the construction industry. Okay, now we will jump to the next, and it is the buildingSMART standard. uh, okay, so we talk about some terms. Let we start here. So IFCOWL as only buildingSMART candidate standard is used for providing a web ontology language. It stands for OWL, representation for the IFC standard. The representation to represent the IFC data model as a schema. Some schema models, language such as Express and XML schemas definition XSD are used to achieve this representation by using the OWL to providing a corresponding representation of the IFC schema. IFC OWL ontology is developed, which has the same status as the Express or XSD schema of this IFC. Now we'll jump to the next. Here we will be discussing about the buildingSMART candidate standard. So construction operation building information exchange, also known as COBI, is one of the buildingSMART related other standards. Sorry, it's 1 minute. Okay, candidate standard. Other standard. Okay, so we'll be talking about the other standards. So COBI, also known as Construction Operations Building Information Exchange. The COBI is an information exchange specification for collecting and delivering the information required by facility management or facility managers during the life cycle of the buildings. COBI can be viewed in design, construction, maintenance, software, and simple spreadsheet. And this versatility of the COBI enables it to use in all the project, regardless of the project size and technical complexity. The second is land XML. I know most of you are very much aware about the land XML, but land XML is an electronic data transfer standard that was developed by the Open Geospatial Consortium in 1994. The land XML schemas include surveying, road design, and digital terrain model, also known as DTM, which is capable of capturing, validating, and displaying the civil engineering and survey measurement data. Furthermore, infrastructure spatial object based on the geography markup language, that is known as GML system, has been developed, which help to realize the integration and transformation with the land XML system. Okay, now we will be discussing the platform and the tools that is used for openBIM. So the mainly used openBIM software platforms and tools are here on your screen, and we will be discussing about them. We'll be talking about the openBIM, and we'll be talking about XIM. We'll be talking about the BIM server, XBIM, IFC-Doc, BIMQL, BCF manager, and so on and so forth. Okay, now let us start from the openBIM software platforms first. So if we talk about the software platforms, here you'll see first of all the BIM server. I went through my studies and I found that BIM server is one of the major platforms. So participant and the stakeholders of construction project can use different software, of course, but the BIM software to realize that the timely sharing of the information. At present, BIM software mainly includes, Autodesk, Bentley, and Trimble, and so on and so forth. There is highly compatibility between the same company software. That is very much understood, but the interoperability between the different companies software or between the different software vendors is relatively low, which leads to the difficulty of information sharing between the software, such as DWG to DGN and so on and so forth. So through some of the softwares has although some of the softwares had the plugins development interface, but still cannot fully meet the construction industry's BIM software requirement for customization and modularization. Here we are going to discuss further more about the BIM server. And so BIM server, basically what it is, allow me a moment please. So BIM server is an open and stable software which can easily build reliable BIM software tools for supporting dynamic collaboration process of AEC domain users. BIM server is available. I shared the website here on bimserver.org platform. It enables the user to create their own BIM operating system. The core of the software is based on the open IFC standard, so it can handle IFC data very well. In BIM server, the intelligent core interprets IFC data and store it in underlying database as an object. The main advantage of this method is that it can query, merge and filter the BIM data. Okay. In addition to the core database function of merging, model checking, authorization, authentication, and comparison, many other functions can lower and threshold for developers. BIM server's common plugins are, that is shown here, you see, IFC OpenShell. What exactly it is? IFC OpenShell is an open source software library that helps the users and software developer to parse IFC models. Second term is BIM VIE.ws, that is developed an online weaving software tools for BIM built in HTML and JavaScript. It is compatible with the BIM server interface exchange, that is BIM SIE. So API interface and works with BIM on the cloud platform. BIM SIE is a standard API for BIM web services to get BIM in the cloud. Users can use BIM VIE w.s BIM VIE.ws with any BIM SIE compatible online BIM service. Next is BIM Surfer. It is an open source IFC model weaver developed by SCE-NGS and WebGL to parse the BIM data from IFC to GITF formats. And the last is BSF-IER. It is an application that can handle the BSF files, and it can be integrated directly with the BIM software as a plugin. BSF-IER allows users to create and open BSF files in Autodesk Revit, add multiple reviews, and comment and easily share them with other team members. Okay, so here was the first platform. Now let's go to the next one. The next platform is extensible building information modeling, also known as XBIM. It's stable building information modeling is uh, a free open source software development platform that allow the developers to create the custom BIM middleware for IFC based application. So XBIM provides a rich API for IFC data standards. It allows the developer to read, write, and upload IFC files in a few lines of the code. XBIM has a complete geometric information engine that converts IFC geometric data objects such as IFC swept area solid into fully functional boundary representation geometric models. So these models support all Boolean operations, intersection, unions, and calculation behavior such as volume, area, and length. Geometric information engine not only provides the optimized 3D triangulation and meshing for visualization, but also provide overall model optimization for repeating recognition and transformation to maps. Okay, so here was the platforms. Now we will be coming to the tools. So there are many supporting tools for openBIM standards. Among them, 5 kind of the common tools are introduced here. Okay, I'll be starting from the IFC document generator, that is also known as IFC doc. Basically, it is a software tool for generating IFC document, starting with IFC4, okay, and developing MVD. This tool is based on the MVD XML specification and can be applied to all IFC versions. Next is BCF Manager, that enables user to create the filter and find issues in the BIM model. User can save load issues or synchronize them from the BIM collab to share the issues with project members who use the same or different BIM tools shown here. You see this graphical representation. Okay, so user can save load issues or synchronize them from BIM collab to share the issues with project team members who use the same different BIM tools, thereby improving the reliability of issue management and narrowing the gap between the BIM tools. So here it is. Next is building information modeling query language, that is also known as BIMQL, is an open domain specific query language for building information models. The query language can select and update data stored in IFC. It is currently used in bimserver.org platform. Okay. And 1 minute, BIMQL. And next is the Abstract IFC framework. Abstract IFC framework is a Java-based object-oriented toolkit that provides the full access to IFC-based BIM models for reading, writing, modifying, and creating IFC models. The IFC framework provides the tools for assessing and visualizing the IFC-based BIM to facilitate software developers to integrate the information library into the products, and users can also perform the visual operations and model checking. The last one is IFC Engine DLL. Basically, it's a step toolbox which can generate the 3D models for the latest version of IFC. This component can load, edit, and create the step physical files and framework through its own object database. Okay, so these were the tools. Now we are coming to the case studies, and I'd like to thank the BIM, what it is, BIM track for this case study. I took it from their server. So, for example, here we talk about the challenges. The coordination format issue is one of the challenges what we feel when we are exchanging the files between two different softwares. So after a few weeks of exchanging standard clash detection reports, the project team quickly realized that the format of the clash detection report would vary a lot according to how the user configure it. They noticed that the lack of the compatibility of BIM software to exchange clashes and quality control information, but the biggest challenge was finding the clashes in their original context. So in the modeling software where it needs to be resolved actually. So the BIM manager estimated that the average time required to find and open the model views required to fix an issue using the standard PDF clash report was 2 minutes. Considering this, there is an average of 100 new issues opened per month. This process can become time consuming, of course. So second issue was the communication channel issue. The project managers also noticed the lack of the issue traceability, no control during the data exchange process, in accessibility and current issues solving status, the lack of issue identification information such as number, discipline, etc., and in existing notification system to ensure the accountability and timely reactivity. So the BIM manager estimated the time required to track issues to be 64 hours per month. And they also noticed the different versions of the issues was exchanged by different decentralized methods such as email, file server, paper, etc., which resulted in communication fragmented. Again, the communication fragmentation is there in the market. So the solution, here was the challenges, now the solution. BCF format from openBIM. So buildingSMART's BCF, BIM collaboration format, is a standard and neutral file format, as we discussed earlier, used to exchange and coordination information. The information structure of BCF open format allows attaching a screenshot, comments, location, and many other attributes used to identify the parties involved in solving issues. The current version of BCS is, I think, 2.1, and it is not controlled by any software manufacturer and is an object-oriented, software. So here you can see how they work and how they find the clashes, and they comment on it. So it can be tracked easily. And thanks to BIMtrack for this report, I'll be also attaching the report in the last for your personal. Okay. Now here I showed some important link based on what we discussed today's talk, or the buildingSMART, the home of openBIM, and some other links. What I will suggest you guys to please go through is buildingsmart.org, and the second is IFC certified participant, the green one here. So there are always the issue with the IFC export and import. So here is the link. You can go through and check either the software what you are using is certified by IFC, certified by buildingSMART or not. If it is certified, it should not show any sort of issues in interoperability between the two softwares. Okay. Now, thank you very much, everyone. And here I am open for the question.
Thank you, Mr. Nadeem. Please, if anyone has a question, he can write it down in the chat box.
Yeah. And furthermore, after this meeting, you will receive email. In that one, we will attach this presentation with the links, and I'll give the further Google Drive location where I'll be sharing some important, research papers and the case studies that can help you to understand the openBIM and its benefit in more efficient way.
I can see a few questions are there in the chat box, Mr. Nadeem. You can look at them. And for Nasreen asking for the presentation will be available in buildingSMART UAE chapter website, www.buildingsmart.ae. Yes, so within a few days, it will be the whole recording will be available there.
Yeah. We will also sharing the presentation and the links and the Google Drive. Muhammad, I will send it to you all, and then you can share with the participants.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I feel there is no further question.
In chat box, I can see a few questions. Are they visible to you, Mr. Nadeem?
Yeah, it is. Could you share a real world example or case study where openBIM has been successfully implemented and resulted in improved project outcomes? For sure, Muhammad. For sure, Ibrahim. I will send one or two case studies with the email.
Okay, and we will publish them on the website so everyone can access.
For sure. Okay, so there is one question about the digital twin versus building information modeling. So yeah, I do have a lot of research about the digital twin, and we can arrange one meeting about it or a webinar.
We will be glad to have you with that one.
Thank you, Muhammad. Okay, so we can close this meeting here now.
Thank you so much,
thank you,
Mr. Nadeem, and thank you for the audience, and see you in another webinar soon.
Sure, and have a nice break, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.